Sleepy day today. All right, hi media junkies. Welcome back to
Goodbye.
our show. I think we're on a little kind of a
Time crunch.
dour mood, kind of a little bit more sleepy.
Yeah.
Which is okay because I mean this topic is pretty like mindful, but I didn't do as much planning as I probably should have, but it's not something that needs a lot of planning. Well, I'll explain when we get to it, but we have small talk first and foremost. Austin particularly, as always.
Yeah, I can start off with our small talk. I guess first and foremost, I should say welcome back to Terrible Things Happening to Austin.
Yo!
Dude, we gotta wait until like a while to do like a compilation video, but like that's gonna be the longest episode.
Yeah, it is.
What happened this time?
My friend that lives on campus at camp, we decided to hang out, and in order to get to his, you see
I saw the hand
Is that a
thing.
spoiler?
on my elbow. It is.
Yeah.
So I decided in order to get to his dorm room quicker, because it's like a 30-mile walk from the parking lot, to use the electric scooter like I always do.
Oh no!
I'm a very experienced electric scooter
dude, you
rider.
should have spoiled the story for I'm very good.
So
Very, very good at it.
essentially, the problem, it wasn't just like a fluke where things just went wrong. The problem is that not only was I riding the scooter, but I was also carrying my pillow. I didn't have a place to put my pillow because I was spending the night at his dorm.
And just imagine what that would look like. Sorry, Hunter's adjusting the mic, so if we get quieter or louder, that's why.
But I'm riding to.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was riding to the dorm, and my pillow starts to slip.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
So I
It sucks.
I let go with my left hand to readjust my pillow and pull it back up, and suddenly the whole scooter just starts rumbling and shaking, and I just crash land.
No hands detected.
The worst part about it, I guess, is that upon falling, they always say the number one thing you shouldn't do when you fall, which it's like no one's really in the moment, I guess.
Yeah, like how are you gonna be? I always wondered that. Like,
but the number one rule when you fall is you're not supposed to stick your arms out because that's an easy way to break your arm.
Yeah, because it's gonna like.
Yeah. So
Tasty.
I stuck out my left arm, and that's where the brunt of the impact landed. So for a good while there, it hurt so bad that I thought it was broken.
Okay.
But it was just a pretty bad sprain. It's calmed down now. It doesn't hurt as much. This was a few days ago over the weekend.
But the boo-boo's on your right arm, though.
Oh yeah, well I hurt a whole lot. So I have these wounds on my hands, pretty bad. And then you don't even want to see this wound on my elbow.
This one looks like you just got bit by like a spider. No, the other one.
It looks like I was just attacked.
No, the other one.
Oh, the other one?
I was saying this one because it was like your left.
Yeah. I think I literally have like pieces of pavement inside of my hand or something. I don't know what that is.
Isn't that gonna get infected, dude?
Probably.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
He'll
know.
be fine. We'll just have
I
to amputate his hand.
Yeah,
I do
just-
like how your Band-Aid is very fashionable. It's
Yeah,
a little bow
it's-
tie. It's
Well,
cool.
I was struggling to find because your elbow is a very tough spot to cover with a Band-Aid because that's
yeah.
the part of your arm that's
So
always
is your
bending.
fingy.
And because you're like, how am I gonna get
Right.
the Band-Aid?
Yeah,
So is the fingies. Like,
Yeah, it
between
was
the
very
yeah.
difficult. Thankfully, so the funniest part about the story, I guess, if any part of it is funny, is
it's
that
all funny.
is
It is
that
all
funny. It's pretty funny.
yeah. The funniest part is that I continued riding. I didn't just go home. I was really close to just turning around and going home after that experience.
Yeah, the end, dude. I can't do
Yeah,
anymore.
but I decided, we planned this hangout. We're gonna do it. So I continue riding the scooter to his house. Very cautious this
Cautiously,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Caution.
Just like a trail
It-
of red leaving behind.
Essentially, yeah. I passed many people and got many weird looks because it doesn't look as bad as it was, like now that it's kind of like half healed. But I was covered in blood.
Yeah.
Like my arm, my elbow, I had blood on my shirt.
Ah.
I didn't have a change of clothes either, so I was just stuck in those
Oh,
clothes.
man.
So
every car that drove by, you should have just like slowly turned and looked at them.
Yeah.
just gave him the creepiest smile.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was not a good look. And thankfully,
You just killed a man.
yeah. Thankfully, my friend had a med kit on standby when I
Nice.
got there, so I kind of used his band-aids.
Wait, did you tell him what happened? Or did
Oh,
you just,
yeah.
like, you just like showed up to his house
Yeah.
hobbling and bleeding? Like,
No.
I'm here. I made it.
bleeding.
Yeah.
I
That's
braved the
okay.
elements
Yeah.
and made it to your house.
No, he understood. He's very scared of those scooters. He refuses to ride them as well.
I mean,
and
yeah.
I kind of understand it now.
Why did it get so wobbly after you one arm?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
make any
I think it was
sense.
because I had so
It
much
was-
weight on
That would-
the
yeah, I
other
guess that
side.
makes
How long
sense.
did you say the ride was too? Because it was just across campus, right?
Well, on scooter, the ride's probably about 5 to 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So, but walking wise, it would have been like a 20-minute walk.
Gotcha.
My question
So
is,
it's a good thing you took the scooter.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to
Exactly.
save some time.
Yeah.
is when that happens to you, where does the skin go? Because every time
Yeah.
every time I like scrape my arm,
That's
and
a
there's just,
good
like,
question.
There's
I
like
do
no
wonder that.
skin there, and then it's just like not on the ground. It's like where'd it go?
Yeah,
A
it just-
bird just snatches it up.
It just disintegrates. I,
I guess
don't know.
so. Yeah, when it's like dust is like
I guess
your
it's
skin
just, like-
cells, right? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
guess.
that's part of it. Maybe skin just is like really weak.
Yeah.
No,
Interesting.
it's pretty strong. I would
Yeah.
say.
But on a lighter note, to kind of give this story a happy ending, is I rode the scooter. I got to the recording session a little earlier today because I rode the scooter back to my car,
Yay!
and I almost crashed
yeah,
again.
I bet you
Yay!
did. Incredible. You were
yeah.
like, you know what? Me and this scooter have a really good trust relationship. I really
Yes.
trust that
I
I'll
really
get there
trust the
safely.
scooter that made me fall.
I can't wait for when I get my own scooter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
That experience made me wanna
Especially
get one.
because
Wow.
the one I crashed on and got all these boo-boos from only goes up to 14 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure.
Only 14.
I'm pretty sure the one I'm getting can go up to 40 miles per
Oh
hour.
yeah, because that's what we need is more Austin
You're gonna
going
be
40 miles per
terrible.
hour.
If I crashed into a wall going 40 miles per hour on a scooter, I would just actually be like a popped balloon.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say you would
Like-
just go.
You make an
Yeah.
Austin-shaped hole in the
Yeah,
wall like a Looney
yeah,
Tunes scooter.
yeah.
Or if you are gonna do it, lean the scooter up so that you zoom up the wall.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Climb the
that
building.
won't
Yeah.
that won't make the scooter just break in and just
Have
stab
ever
you in the
seen-
stomach or
have you ever
something.
seen Tony Hawk where like he goes up and then like spins around in the air and goes back down?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you gotta do with your
Yeah,
40
know.
mile an hour
that,
scooter.
that, won't, that won't backfire at all.
Huh.
I can crank this baby up to 40 if
Yeah,
I'm. Anyway,
yeah.
I have a similar story
Why
actually.
would
This
you
didn't
wanna
happen
go
recently,
40
but when I was, my mom used to organize this like parade down to the park every like I think it was 4th of July or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing it one time on my bike, and I was like going, it was really really fast downhill, and I saw like one of those like sewer grates on the road, and I was like, it's a good idea to go and hit that with my bike because it'll be cool, make a funny
Right,
bump,
right.
and I hit it and I flew into the air.
Oh my God.
and I landed on my arm. I felt like Superman. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Whoa!"
So you saw what? And
But
then
you didn't.
Went, hey.
You didn't fall off. You landed it, or
No, I fell off.
landed
on
no,
his
because
arm.
the bike like kind of launched to the right, and I flew off of it to the right, like near to the curb, and I was like,
Yeah.
in the air for a little bit.
were you wearing a helmet?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, good.
And yeah, probably if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here today.
See,
so-
legally, I think I'm supposed to be you like wearing a helmet.
I
with
wouldn't.
those
I
on?
would just
Yeah.
just.
But
after that
I've
situation.
never seen anyone else do it. So I don't know.
And fun fact with helmets, you're supposed to get ones that break and not ones that just like stay there.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Because if they break, that means they're absorbing almost
Right.
all the impact, so it's like it's breaking the thing and it won't go
Interesting.
It won't break.
Yeah,
in your
because
head.
if it's like this, yeah, that's interesting. Then.
But the ones that
they
like
have to make them not too strong.
Right.
yeah, but the ones where they just stay on your head are bad because like all that pressure that just happened just goes into your head.
Yeah. Ugh.
And it just like
Yeah.
Make your brain all mushy.
Shell shock.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Hunter? What's going on in your life?
I've been playing Isaac.
No,
Isaac?
you just said there was something very sad that happened. Well, I mean,
Whoa.
it's not actually sad.
It's
just,
not sad.
It was
It's-
annoying for you.
It's annoying in the sense that a game that I was waiting for to come out came out randomly today. Game called Amanda the Adventurer 2.
Leave it to
Oh.
Hunter to twist that into a negative thing. That's
I mean,
that's all I'm gonna say.
it's a negative thing when you're not expecting it to come out and you don't have the funds for it.
Yeah, that is true.
And you don't know when you're going to be able to have the funds for it.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
you just have to sit here and avoid like 50 videos on the
Avoiding
game.
spoilers is a hard thing.
That's
actually.
why I
That's
was
true.
so
I didn't
annoyed
think
about it
that.
because like I have to avoid spoilers. And I have to sit here and wait like, hey, I can't play this game yet. And I just got to
Yeah.
sit here and look at it like, hey, it's right there. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's rough. Not very good.
tired. I just hate Shadow Drop
I've
so
been
much.
I've been grinding out because I was explaining this to Hunter and I explained this to Austin too. In Faith, there's an achievement you can get for beating. There's a thing called marathon mode, which is where you do all 3 chapters in one sitting. Which is what we're not going to be doing that because that
we will be doing
because
that.
if you like die, and like if you mess up something to get like the good, it's hard to explain. But basically that won't be good for what we're going to be doing. But if you have to beat all of marathon mode without dying,
right?
It sounds like okay, yeah, every game does something like that. But this game is very much like you only have 2 controls. I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm trying not to spoil too much, but it's very like it's not very complex, so it's hard to kind of like do a lot of this stuff to like defeat the bosses and whatnot.
It's not complex,
and it's like a 90-minute. Well, if you're like a speedrunner, it's like a 90-minute game. The marathon mode is so it's taken a lot out of me. I've sunk like 18 runs. 2 or 3 of them I've made it to the final boss and died, which is like which again took like 90 minutes. So it's been rough, but it's also been fun. The achievement is called Good Christian Boy, by the way, and I was like. I feel like I need to have this achievement. Like it's kind of if I'm not a good Christian boy, who am I?
Exactly.
So I have to become a good Christian boy. So that's what I've been doing. Hopefully I can get it done before our hangout.
Yeah.
Which actually, if we do, I'm having to push it back. I'll have more time to do it.
Yeah.
He's not a good Christian boy.
I just have to do this. Okay, it's the one thing I have to do.
He's not a good Christian boy.
I won the Youth of the Year at my church one year, but I guess that wasn't enough. I have to.
Once he tells us about that and that he beat the marathon, maybe he'll be a good Christian boy. But right now. He's not.
That's the whole point. For some, I guess the creator of the game thinks that he's worthy to deem people good Christian boys.
Is. The creator of the game is Jesus.
No, he's not. That would be crazy. Would you a game made by like God would go crazy? Could you imagine?
And I keep forgetting to mention this every single episode. I have started my campaign. I've started writing.
I
haven't written a bit about it, but I've started like the main beginning. But that might change a little bit too because I don't really know exactly how I want it to start because beginning is not good. I'm scared that the middle parts and everything else, the meat of the sandwich, isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
Wait, so the beginning's not good? You're just going to leave it as being not good?
No, I'm fixing it. I'm going to look at it.
I gotcha.
Keep like trying to tweak it. I'm going to tweak it before I completely finish it because. The bread, which is the beginning and the end, aren't good.
You're really committed to this metaphor.
The sandwich in the middle.
The sandwich in the middle of the bread. So
the meats and the cheese and the maybe the lettuces and like the vegetables and stuff like that. If those aren't good, if the sandwich bread is not good, then the rest of the everything else is not going to be good.
Right. Okay, I understood. So Hunter's ideal sandwich goes bread, sandwich, vegetables, lettuces, bread. Sandwich.
Well, actually, my ideal sandwich is bread, cheese, bread.
Delicious.
Tasty.
Hams.
I have 2 recent recs this week.
I think if I have any.
One of which
I do not.
One of which being The Edge of Sleep.
Oh yeah.
I want to give my little spoiler-free mini review here.
He dies.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
No. It's very good, very very good as expected. My complaints about it, 2 big complaints.
Right.
1 is acting, 2 is length. The show is it can't even really be called a show.
Right.
I feel like I would have preferred if they had actually just like cut things together more and made it a movie.
Right.
Instead of a show because
I've heard similar arguments.
Typically every episode's around 20 minutes, so there's 6 episodes, so it'll round out to around 2 hours. So I feel like it could have just been better as a movie.
Yeah, probably.
A little bit. Pacing might have felt...
I've also heard that
Who's
people who were
acting?
saying that also said that the pacing is better on the original Spotify podcast of the thing, which I guess makes sense.
I heard they due to budget, they did take out a lot of the story from the original podcast.
Yeah, right, because the podcast is 8 episodes, I think.
Right. But for anyone confused, it's... It's the show that Mark is starring in. It's kind of...
Plier.
People get... Yeah.
Who's acting is bad in it.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
can't be Mark, right? Please.
It's a common misconception that it's Markiplier's show. He's the star of it, and he has the executive producer label. But the reason he has the executive producer label is because he provided most of the funding for it. He doesn't have most of the creative.
Oh, interesting.
So he
did a lot more research.
He's mostly just an actor in it. But yeah, in terms of length, I wish we could have pushed it out to maybe 40 minutes per episode.
Said we, like you were part
yeah,
of
like
it.
I made this show.
I was back there.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, Mark.
Anyway, yeah. So you were
gonna push it more.
You were talking. You said that we were texting about this. Sorry, that was weird. We were texting, and I don't know if you probably didn't read it then, but about Markiplier in it, like what you thought about him in it, which I found interesting.
Yeah. So and it's not just him. My second gripe is the acting. The acting's fine. It's not bad by any means. But it does feel kind of stiff. And it could be actually a problem from the writer's standpoint because just the lines they're given, there isn't really a whole lot of room for them to work with. But I think so I actually heard that this was filmed way back even before In Space with Markiplier. So
really? Whoa.
That gives me the impression that he's had a lot of experience for something like Iron Lung to where he'll be more experienced and his acting will be a bit better for that movie. So that makes me hopeful that he's improved more.
Yeah.
Not to say his acting is bad. For someone that this is probably
clips of it. It looks
one of
looks
his
really good.
first experiences acting. It's really good. I
will. Sorry, I was talking with you about this, about how because we're so used. Like, we know what Markiplier is like in real life too.
Right.
Like we know him more from that than that. So that might be part of the reason why it feels a bit weird, you know.
Right.
Which I guess could make sense.
It's hard to take someone seriously, like I said, when you mainly know them from a comedic standpoint. But his acting is still really good. Probably my favorite actress in the show. Her name's Eve Harlow. I think she's the only one that I thought did like a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
She was really good. But things I liked about the show, the effects are phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They're amazing.
I've seen something like that. So I watched the trailer for it.
The funding that Markiplier put into it definitely didn't go unspent. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
The concept obviously is really cool. Again, with pacing issues, I kind of just wish it was explored a little more.
Right.
It's definitely a show that leaves you wanting more and not.
Do you think it makes sense for it to get a second season, or do you think it kind of left off at a...
It's definitely getting a second season because another thing I really liked about it is the plot twist at the end.
Ooh.
It's one of the best plot twists.
Well, I'm spoiled now.
Yeah,
There's a plot twist.
I didn't see it coming, which it's a plot twist where you would expect yourself to see it coming, and maybe other people did, but I didn't. It was really creative, and it was a really good show.
Do you ever do anything like read a book or watch a movie or something, and you forget that plot twists are a thing, and then you're like, whoa, and then you're like, oh yeah, they did it on purpose.
I feel like for the most part they don't happen all that often anymore.
Yeah.
Like
which kind of makes it better when they do.
Yeah. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Sonny?
I
really appreciate your contribution.
Thank you. What I think people forget to understand is that Edge of Sleep isn't supposed to be marketed because it's the whole point of it is to get the show big without having huge marketing about it so that Mark could release Iron Lung, because I was seeing people talking about it's kind of unfair blah 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 because they're
they released
it was something about the marketing or whatever like that. It's not kind of unfair because of there's no marketing for it. It's that's a respondent to the comment said, well, the whole point is that there's supposed to be no marketing. It's to marketing.
Go on.
And so Iron Lung can be released with just Markiplier being, because he's a big creator and everyone's going to watch it because he's in there. And I just think it's so funny that the people are like, oh yeah, you're not big enough. It's like,
they're probably
what?
See, I'm glad you reminded me, because that's another big thing I wanted to talk about is the marketing for this. It released even before Markiplier expected it to.
Yeah, that was the big thing about it. That's why it was kind of unfair.
Amazon just released it without any marketing, and a lot of people have taken that as an interpretation, which I agree, honestly, is that they were kind of trying to bury it a little bit.
It's kind of funny because it's you can't stop Mark's
They
fans,
messed up
dude.
on that because now it's one of the top... Isn't it one of the top shows?
So the whole plan was that it had to be in top 10 so that Iron Lung could, there could be some doors opened in that category. And it even just a shadow drop like that, when it just first debuted without any marketing, it already made number 9.
Mm-hmm.
But after the 18th, when it was actually marketed and there were trailers coming out and they were actually pushing for it, it got to number 5.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
so
awesome.
it's really climbed the charts.
How many people do you think watched it who weren't Markiplier, who didn't know who Markiplier was?
I don't know, but I will say, even if I didn't know who Markiplier was, I still think I would really enjoy the show.
That's cool.
It's very good.
I hope that I have Prime. I really want to watch it.
Now the question is when is Iron Lung gonna release?
I don't know.
Didn't you say? I feel like I had November in my mind for some
He
reason.
said
but
no.
that might be
It
wrong.
was November, but that was also before all this having to have
Right.
Edge of Sleep release
Yeah.
was a thing.
Again, but you can't stop Mark's fans, dude. Like,
Yes, sir.
every time that they have like a goal, they reach it undeniably. Like every time.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I think Luke knows what I'm talking about.
I think we all know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. But yeah, it's awesome.
One last little recent rec here, which it's hard to recommend this movie because it's definitely not going to be for anybody. Or
It's gonna,
man.
it's gonna be for nobody. No one's gonna watch this.
No,
It's a really bad
nobody
movie.
will enjoy
Do you
this
think
movie.
there's anything out there that's actually like that?
Yeah.
that nobody will enjoy.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yes.
KSI's new
Borderlands.
Yeah.
The Borderlands
yeah.
movie.
But this movie,
Possibly the Minecraft movie.
this movie's not going to be for everybody. It is a horror movie. My girlfriend and I watched it last night.
Oh.
It is the scariest movie I have ever watched in my entire life. It's an analog horror movie.
Whoa! Really?
Yes, it's called Skinamarink.
You watched Skinamarink?
I did.
That is like a bucket list movie for me.
Yes, it is phenomenal.
Wait! I was gonna. Oh, dude! I was gonna
It's so good. I don't know.
I've never told you about that.
I don't
No,
think
you've
so.
never
I
talked to
love
us about it.
Skinamarink. I haven't watched it because I'm too scared, but I've watched like video
Amazing.
essays.
I don't
and-
think if I had the choice, I don't think I would ever watch it again.
You haven't
Because
talked-
of
It is
how
really scary.
it's
You haven't
unsettling.
said
It's
a single
upsetting.
word about it.
Can we talk about spoilers? Because I really want to talk about some of my favorite parts about it.
Yeah.
You can too.
I want to watch it.
No, you don't. You do not want to watch it.
Yes, I do.
Well, I don't know if we should get into spoilers, but
Okay.
Where do you
Uh,
watch it? That's a question.
where did I think we watched it on Prime.
That's incredible. Yeah.
But we watched it late at night.
It's older too, so it's.
It's a couple years old.
Yeah.
Essentially, what the movie is and why it's not for everybody is because it's very unconventional. It's the entire film is just like all of it is just shots of corners of this house. It's late at night. It's about these kids. Their parents go missing, and then
Oh my word.
the doors and windows in the house start to disappear, and just a whole lot of weird stuff happens. Which it's a movie where not a lot actually does
Yeah, the plot is
happen.
very simple.
It's very simple, but the execution of how it achieves, making you unsettled or scared.
Oh yeah.
It's phenomenal.
If you're just watching like the video essays that I watched, because I don't know. I'll go back and forth whether or not I should watch
I
it.
watched Matt Pat's video on it earlier today.
Oh, Wendigoon has a video on it.
Yeah,
you should watch that.
I've heard.
It's really good.
Matt Pat's theory on it is very good.
So, I'm going to dance around spoilers here, but the concept of like the whole thing that's happening to the kids and like what it is so obscure,
Right.
Which makes it so interesting to theorize about.
It's
because
really up for interpretation.
there are breadcrumbs.
Yeah,
you
like
know.
the entire movie essentially is up for interpretation. It's whatever
Yeah.
you make of it, which is a thing I really liked about it. Is that
Yeah.
not a whole lot of movies like the entire movie is like your own interpretation.
I agree.
It felt almost more like an art project than an actual movie.
It's weird. There's so many shots that I've seen from it that have like just left me so like.
It's
like the shot of like it's like a corner, it's like a corner of the room like that, and then there's like the door frame or whatever in the door, and then like just like
everything
disappears.
You'd think it's like a lazy kind of movie to make,
Yeah.
or it's very easy, but the amount of detail that actually went into every frame is incredible.
That's the same thing with Faith. Like
Yeah.
you would think it's lazy because it's like so simple
Right.
looking, but it's really not.
It's incredible, and I don't say scariest movie of all time lightly. I've watched a lot of horror movies.
I think a lot of people would agree with you who have seen the movie.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and it's also a reason that I think analog horror needs to become more mainstream.
Yes, I agree.
It gave off very big like Mandela catalog vibes. Like
That was the the guy who made it. Actually had it did
Yeah.
YouTube. I don't know if you. There
He
was
has
one
a
you watched
YouTube
called.
channel,
It was called.
yeah.
It's just called Heck. I think he made another.
it's called Bite-Sized Nightmares.
No, yeah, but he made
okay.
another film before.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like just a YouTube thing. It was like only 30 minutes long. It was similar to that.
Yeah.
Called Heck. And I did watch that.
They're
and
actually all
pretty
based
creepy.
off of people's nightmares.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Which is good. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I analog horror. I love so much. So yeah, Skinamarink is like definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's definitely the most uncomfortable I think I've ever been watching a movie.
Yeah.
It's
besides you just watched Joker with the guy laughing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's on Disney Plus.
Skinamarink.
It
There's
is?
No way.
Wow.
Probably not. I'm gonna.
That's insane.
I have Disney Plus because if it is, I'm watching it tonight.
Yeah.
But I don't think it. I don't
Unless
think
it's unless
be
it's
on Disney
lying
Plus.
to me.
There's
'cause
no way it'd be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That seems. That's like if
I mean, they have a lot of stuff on.
That's like if the most violent game ever was on like Nintendo.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
It's
anyways,
not
that was my little recent rec.
Yeah.
If there's not any other small talk, we can take
Man,
it away.
I'm kind
Mr.
of
Host.
kind of upset that I wasn't the one to recent rec that to you then because
Yeah.
if you had expressed interest, I would have
Yeah. My girlfriend recent wrecked it.
Oh, so she had already seen it.
A while ago, yeah, but she never finished it because she found it too scary.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, the ending is pretty jarring.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So, all that aside,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just like I just gotta be whatever about this topic because I've had a busy week, a lot of stuff to think about. But I wanted to do this one because this is the reason I wanted to do it is because I've been working a lot more on my book lately.
Ooh.
My thoughts on the matter. It's getting very well along. I have like the first few chapters
On
pretty much already
Lukology?
done. Yeah, on Lukology.
Okay.
This is not a sequel episode.
Okay.
It could because it. I mean, we can call it Lukology 2, I guess, or like Lukology again or something. But it's gonna be structured differently because I have here, I think 5. I wanted to get more, but I didn't get enough. One word topics that I want to kind of discuss and talk about.
One word
because
topics.
because the this is kind of a half episode, half also kind of an advertisement for my book. Is going to be like each chapter or section, whatever you want to call it, is a one word topic and like what I think about it. So this isn't one of them, but like kindness and then everything about that. And it's the formula's kind of changed around a little bit.
Right.
But that's kind of how I want to do a lot of them. And some of them have like subtitles. But that's how it's structured, and that's kind of how I have always thought about these concepts and these thoughts as like, you know, I don't know. It's all to think about. I'll get better at it as we get into the discussion. But so basically, we can just talk about general like thoughtfulness and Lukology and but there's 5 here that I really want to touch on because I've been thinking about a lot about them lately. I've also been starting a thought journal that I brought here that I'll probably share a few of these throughout the episode that are pretty good, I think.
Good. Getting into the mind.
I know.
Of
Yeah,
Luke.
this is probably the worst intro of all time to anything ever in the
This
history of the world.
I hate this.
So yeah, Lukology 2, with a bit more pizzazz this time. We've got structure. I've got my thought journal here.
There is no structure to anything we do.
Like the first day I did this, I was like I couldn't stop doing it, and then the next few days I had like a 1 or 2 entries a day. So that's kind of how it went. But
Gotcha.
happens a
and then,
lot.
so I have some in my journal. I have because each thought is like there's like different thoughts, right?
Just any thoughts?
And it's most of the stuff I write down is about the world and people and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I've labeled them so like if there's a star, it's one of my favorites. If I have connecting thoughts, I like draw arrows between them and stuff. So it kind of looks like brain barf.
Yeah.
I underline stuff. If there's a
barf.
question, I put a question mark next to it. If there's one that's just for me, there are a few here that are like just for me that only really apply to my life, I guess. I
Right.
have little top hats next to them.
Yeah.
Because you know.
Whoa, wait, you're a top hat guy?
I am a top hat guy. I am a.
Are you purple guy too?
Purple guy. I just made that song up, guys.
Very
Okay.
good.
No, he didn't. He's lying.
I'll just read this first thought here. Actually, I don't know if you guys have anything to say about it.
Okay.
The first thing I wrote down and the thing that I always kind of talk about, it's kind of the basis of my system of thinking is always ask why. If you are upset with yourself, determine the why behind your actions and your decisions.
Okay.
So, like, I think a lot of people are unhappy with themselves for a lot of reasons. But I think if you kind of boil it down, a lot of the reasons people are upset with themselves is they don't understand themselves or like why they do the things they do, right?
Right.
And that's why like asking yourself why you did something or made a choice or why you even like why do I like this thing is very important, I think, to becoming the person you want to be, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
This is obviously a pretty like deep thing to start with, but it's that is like a very good outline of what I kind of hope to accomplish with all that I talk about and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is nice too because obviously I'm very bad at describing these thoughts. Obviously, like already, I feel very like uncomfortable because I'm already kind of fumbled my words and stuff. But this is this allows me to get them out immediately when they're in my head without me having to like overcomplicate them and stuff. So that's part of the reason I did it. But anyway.
Gotcha. So do you want us to give our own interpretation of
just
that?
Interpretation. Just I mean, you don't have to for that one.
Okay.
I mean, that was kind of just the start. I'm very rambly right now. I know I'm in a weird mood. So why don't we just start with this? The first one-word one I have here is respect.
Respect. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I have a lot to say about this, obviously, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
I got one little small more thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Beast apparently is actually falling off.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it was all because of us.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It was all because of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So respect. This is a very. I just finished writing the chapter on respect in my book, which is why I was kind of thinking about this a lot lately. What do you guys think about respect in general? Do you have anything that you've ever like thought interesting about it or the system of it?
It's not very abundant.
It is not abundant. Why do you think that is, though?
I feel like just with I don't want to get too preachy here, but the new generation with technology and how everything's kind of digital now and everything's in your face, I feel like people are quicker to judge just because you know you scroll through social media and you're instantly judging other people, you're judging yourself based off of the people you see.
Totally.
So I feel like not only respecting other people has fallen kind of in the background, but respecting yourself.
I think that might also that might be exactly in here what you just said.
But essentially, there should be more of it than there is.
I think so too, and I think that respecting yourself is honestly probably the first step. You know, if you feel like if people kind of interpret you as a cold and callous person, that's probably part of the reason. You know,
right? Because
you don't really like who you are, and you don't really respect yourself. Right. Therefore, you don't really think other people deserve it, and everyone deserves it.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to me the different ways people try to gain respect.
Right.
You know, a lot of people like try to do amazing things, like, oh, look at this, like I won this award and I did this like championship or whatever. Which is like you earn a different kind of respect that way, I feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people respect the thing you did, but not you as a person.
Exactly.
So it depends on what kind of respect you want.
Yeah, if you've essentially done nothing, no accomplishments, no achievements, I feel like you're obviously less likely to have respect.
Right. But is that kind of respect is different from the kind of respect that like I have like I respect you not because you did anything incredible, not because you've done but because you are a respectful person and because you treat people with kindness.
Right.
And I feel like that's more I just like that more. I just feel like it feels nicer. Right. You know?
Yeah.
But it all depends on what you want. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a big thing I've been thinking about is respect. I think that's a good one.
What way do you try and gain people's respect?
I ranked my top 5 ways people try to earn respect.
Okay.
Somewhere in here. I don't feel like looking for it right now. But I think the most effective and the most beneficial to you and the other person is to respect them.
Right.
You know, which is weird because it seems like a paradox. Like if you know what I mean. But it's really not. You know, if you just respect someone like default, like automatically, you know, and treat them in a kind way, and make them feel heard and understood,
right?
Then they'll respect you for that. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Earning respect and showing respect is a lot simpler than people make it out to be.
A lot of these concepts are, which is kind of part of the reason I'm doing it.
Right. Like it's not hard to show somebody that you respect them. It's the little things, you know, like obviously like listening when they talk.
That's a big
or
one.
Just like understanding their opinion even if you don't agree with it. That's a big one that never happens anymore.
Yeah, it really doesn't anymore.
But yeah, that's an interesting one. Respect is very
I'm very like passionate about the idea of respect because it's almost like an abused system. You know, I think people don't really respect the rules.
It's very powerful too.
Yeah, it's super powerful.
Yeah.
I think like one of the things I quotes in here is that like kindness is the what is it? Kindness is the child of respect, or is it respect? It's either one of the two. It might be flipped around, but they go hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other. I don't think.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between doing kind things and being a kind person, like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. He's a horrible person.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's a good example to everybody, I think. A very good, like, cut and dry example. But it's just true anyway, just because you do nice things and...
Doing kind things that he never actually did is what he did.
Yeah, well...
Because there's a lot of stuff...
I'm saying in a sense of, like, I give money to strangers. That makes me a good person. Like, no, it doesn't. You just did you did a good thing,
Yeah. It's the intent that matters.
Right.
I mean, I believe when he used to, like, when he was, like, a smaller YouTuber and he
I
was
think so,
doing
too.
I think that
he
was
got
real.
corrupted.
Yeah. I don't consider big charity things like that to have good intent unless they're private.
I agree.
I don't think... Obviously, there's... charities are public, but I mean more in terms of like people like Mr. Beast that just have money to give away. I don't think it should be like a big recorded thing.
Yeah,
I
think so too.
Sometimes I guess it's like if you're trying to make more money so that you can give out more money, then it makes sense because people do that. But the way Mr. Beast did it, he like made it out to be like he was a much better person than he actually was with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna.
There's
cut
nothing
this
wrong
short.
with recording.
Like 25 minutes left.
Oh, it should be good. We're good.
We're fine. Yeah, we're fine. This is interesting because I tend to think about these concepts in a very like not vague, but like just I think about them. I don't really apply them to life like you do,
Right.
And that's a difference. There's a whole concept I like to explore of the deeper level and the surface level, right? The surface level is very like your day-to-day life, things that are happening to you, things that happen to other people. And the deeper level is like your mentality and your emotions and feelings and whatnot. There's a whole chapter about it in my book. And I'm kind of disconnected with my surface level self, I feel like. I don't really think about like my future and like what I'm going to do or like And other people see that as a bad thing.
Well,
and maybe it is.
What do you mean by surface level? You mean like your image, kind of?
Well, that's surface level is like your life, like the stuff that's happening to you, the events that are in your life, the people that are in your life. But the deeper level is like your relationship with the people in your life, and your reason behind doing things, and your emotions and whatnot. It's better explained in my book, obviously, because I think I'm better at writing than I am at speaking. Which I used to think the opposite, but I think the other way now.
Yeah.
And again, like I'm not too focused on my future, but that's because I don't have to be. I'm a very live in the moment kind of guy. You know, I don't really worry about the things that are coming because they don't affect me yet.
Man, I wish.
I know.
I am the complete opposite.
Yeah, I know. And I like how also like you and I used to always joke about how we're very similar, but that's like one big thing that we're total opposites
There
about.
never goes a day where I don't worry that my future isn't exactly how I'm imagining it.
And I think I'm probably just gonna we're probably just gonna let this conversation flow. But an example of that is you talking about how you wanted to push the hangout we were gonna do back to like November 14th or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, nope, can't do it. I'm 100% against that. That is the worst idea. And I was probably very overdramatic and emotional in the moment. I didn't say it exactly like that, but I sure didn't.
No, it's exactly how I said it. It's like, Austin, you idiot, stupid guy.
I'm not, like, a lot of people would say, like, oh, what an immature, thing to say. But it's different, you know what I mean? I think people interpret things in a different way than the people who they're interpreting would like them to think. Yeah. That was a weird statement, but it made sense. Like,
no, I didn't understand.
Yeah, my mom says this, and I like this. She says that the golden rule shouldn't be treat others the way you want to be treated. It should be treat others the way that they want you to treat them. Which is very interesting to think about because some people would want to be treated better than they are.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can necessarily agree with that statement.
Right.
Yeah, that might also not be exactly what you
like
said,
Mr.
but
Beast.
it definitely makes you think, though, which I like, which is why I like it.
In some circumstances,
in certain circumstances, but like Mr.
And
Beast.
the people who want you to think about them higher and better than they actually are probably aren't worth your time anyway. So,
right. Yeah. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is interesting to think about. Everything is. I think that like thinking is probably my biggest passion. Aside, look at all of it. Look how much I've written.
Read us another one of your thoughts.
Let me think of some.
Give us some of your knowledge here.
There's one about you, and I'm kidding.
Oh, this is about you, Austin.
There's one about Hunter, I think, in here.
Oh, really?
I want to hear that one.
Come on.
Probably not. I'll probably later in your life.
No, let's hear it now.
You'll get to hear it.
Let's hear it now. I want to hear it now.
I don't think it should be live on air. I'll tell you after the podcast, but I don't.
What the? Did you
It's
put
not
in
bad.
here?
It's not bad. It's actually very nice, but it's not something that the world. It's not something that the world needs to know.
It's probably just
then tell me after this.
That's why it has a little top hat next to it. It means just for me.
Okay. Take a picture and send it to me or whatever.
I love this one. Suppressing your emotions does not help you see the world better. You will lose yourself in being you will lose yourself in being unsure of how to feel about your experiences. Everyone is always so like enamored with having to shut down and not having any emotions and being this like blank slate. Not everyone. That was very
I'm pretty
cynical.
bad with that. I will say.
It happens, but you also acknowledge your emotions. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't completely my mom always used to say like, oh Luke, you cry too much, and maybe that is true.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that I cry too much. I think it's that I used to cry about the wrong things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would interpret things of that like, I cry too much. I have to like not be sad as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I'm the kind of person that if I have a really hard time talking about what I'm upset about when I'm upset about something. So this is getting kind of like really personal, but
That's okay. That's what I want.
Say like I'm upset and I'm with my girlfriend. She can tell that something is wrong, that I'm upset.
Yeah.
So she starts, asking me, like, what's wrong? I can tell you're not.
And you do that like passive aggressive thing. Where you're
it takes me, eventually I do open up, but it takes me a long time to feel comfortable
I
enough.
always found that interesting about people because I never was that way.
Right.
So I never got that to feel that way, because there are a lot of things that are like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Hunter, you're kind of like that too. Where like if you're mad or upset about something, you have a hard time
tell people.
saying it.
I will never
But
tell
but
people.
you can tell like your actions show that
I
you
will
are.
never tell. I mean, sometimes I do, but most of the time I do not tell people when I'm upset.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's just this whole thing that like a lot of people believe that the more suppressed their emotions are and the more of a like stoic blank slate they are, the better they will be, more beneficial to like society or whatever they'll be.
Yeah.
But I personally don't like that.
Yeah.
I think that it's more important to be good for yourself.
Yeah.
And like if it means having those emotions, and if it means being happy or sad about any given thing, it means you're being more of yourself and you're more comfortable in your own skin, which is way more important, I think, than shutting yourself away and not being who you are.
Yeah, that's a opening up like that in those vulnerable moments is something I've tried really hard to work on myself.
And
but,
you'll get better if you care about it.
And it's almost something where I've considered actually going to therapy for it because it's a big problem actually.
Therapy is interesting to me because it all depends on how you learn.
Yeah.
Like if you're, because I'm a very like independent person, so like I feel like if someone told me how I should behave, I wouldn't want to do it as much.
See, I'm also like that where I don't think I would like therapy.
If it gets to a certain point, I'd say
I don't think I would like it, but I won't ever know unless I try it.
I went to therapy in elementary school, and then I did it again a few times when I was in high school, and it did nothing for me. In fact, actually, the therapist said that he got more out of it than I did.
Really?
So I was like,
At least he knew.
Yeah.
I want to go to a rage room.
That
rage rooms, yes.
That's too violent for me. I'd be like, I like knock over a glass and be like, okay, I'm done.
That's like those videos of the people who are like, they're like, yeah, you can destroy these things, and they're just like, boom.
Yeah,
and they're
I
like
can't
hitting
do
it
it, dude.
lightly.
See, I don't want to go to a rage room because I'm like really frustrated and need to let off steam or anything. I want to go just because I want to feel cool in a suit of armor, destroying stuff.
I'm the same way.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to do it for both those reasons because I want to let off steam, and I just want to like when
I just want to take an axe to a TV,
Yeah, I don't really have any steam to let off.
I can't do that or I'll get in trouble.
I think
if I do it in a rage room,
people go between like being sad and mad. Like I think people generally like, cause I like you probably tend to get more mad about things when they don't go your way, and I tend to get more sad about them.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
No, I know.
Neither of them are necessarily admirable,
but
they are true.
neither of them are good.
Right. But yeah, and I tend to get more sad and like kind of self-deprecating about stuff.
Yes, sir.
Which is not healthy. Obviously, we I've been trying to work on.
I do get frustrated very easily. That's probably that. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm more in the middle of like typically I'll be either sad or mad, but I would say mostly I get really frustrated.
Yeah,
easily.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a natural part of life. Humans are going to be that way.
Yeah.
I have to burp again.
Oh no!
Don't
do it right into the mic.
I almost did. This is a concept I kind of started talking about more recently. I talked about it with my dad. I kind of realized this about myself, and I kind of started trying to apply it to others, and it kind of made sense to me. I think that everyone, for the most part, has like, everyone has a reason for living, right? Everyone has like a goal that they're trying to aspire to, and it can be very simple. Like for me, I think that my goal is every single decision I make, everything that I do is so that I'm not lonely someday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
My dad said this. Okay, maybe this is too personal. Maybe I shouldn't say that about my dad. But my dad said something similar, but with a different thing. He lonely wasn't his thing. He said something different.
Right.
So like even if everyone's like, oh, what's your goal someday? Oh, I want to have a job. I want to start a family. But like, why do you want to start a job and have a family? You know,
yeah.
like everyone has like one reason, one thing that they're going for in life, which is Which, I mean, obviously, I don't know if that's necessarily 100% true, but it's something that I've thought about and might be true. Who knows?
There are some people that just don't have anything. They don't know what they want to do. They just, you know.
But even then, there's probably something that they're like they probably have a reason for not wanting to do anything, you know?
Right, yeah.
Everyone has one thing that they're trying to aspire to, and it's interesting.
And it's okay to not know.
I think so too.
What you want to do.
I agree. I think that I kind of tend to think. I kind of feel like I put a lot of pressure on, like, you have to know yourself and have to know everything about yourself, which I think that part of the joy of it is discovering those things. You know, like I don't think it's the way you have to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it kind of is. But I don't think everyone is like that at all. Like cause there are some people. I always think about people. I look at people like Ben Shapiro. And I'm like, how is he happy?
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. He's living his whole life in this. And I don't want to get political. This isn't political, but like he's living his life in this whole state of like constantly arguing with people and like and trying to be this, like, I don't know. It just seems like he's like, how can he be happy? Like what is his goal?
Yeah.
You know. Hopefully he doesn't like hear this and, like, you know, here's my
well,
goal.
actually,
hypothetically, let's say
Ben Shapiro would respond to our podcast because
let's say Luke was
one of his sayings
adult.
is like, facts don't care about your feelings, which is like, in my opinion, feelings matter the most.
Right.
So that's probably just a personal thing for me, because I think a lot of people would agree with him, and other people would agree. I'm not. Why am I putting myself against Ben Shapiro right now? Like,
it's like
he and I are ops.
It's like the truth hurts thing. It's like That's basically what
truth
he means
hurts,
by
but
that.
you can't deny it. You can't avoid it.
That's 100% true. But
yes, you can.
Truth hurts, but like, let it hurt. You know what I mean?
Who said I can't deny it? Not you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did.
Yeah,
I just
did. Okay, let me read one more before we go. This episode feels short, but it's probably just because I'm.
No, yeah, we're doing good.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what you wrote about me.
So
pull out a good one for us.
I know, but I'm trying to find ones that have stars.
Mm-hmm.
Unlock the door. Oh,
no,
I haven't. All right, I forgot about this. I have top 5 one-word Lukology concepts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Negativity is one of them.
Negativity.
Sorry, repeat what you said.
Oh, I've been thinking a lot about negativity lately too.
Oh.
People, again, with unhappiness, which again, some people might not want to be happy. That might not be their goal.
Right.
But I feel like that's probably not very common.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is all just assumptions, but I think that when people are like, sometimes I get in conversations with people, and like almost every conversation I have, they're always upset about something. They're always like really complaining and nitpicking, like, oh, something didn't go my way. You know, something happened that made me upset, and it's like, I always feel bad for those people because they've made this whole idea that like I have to have things not go my way so that people see me as this person who like deserves to have good stuff or whatever, things go their way.
Right.
But they're constantly putting themselves into this like spiral of negativity where they keep getting upset about every little thing until they like become just a sad and frustrated person.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of the antithesis of Lukology, I guess.
Again, I feel like it's like a 50-50 with me. Like, I'm very optimistic and hopeful, but at the same time, I'm equally doubtful and glass half empty kind of person.
You are a lot more in touch with yourself than I think that you realize.
Yeah, I mean, I understand how I feel in the things I don't like about my emotions, but I don't understand how to improve upon that. You know, so it's like
that. But even then, like you just prove to me how like knowledgeable you are about yourself, which is something that a lot of people I think need.
Yeah.
You know, I think that you're probably too hard on yourself about a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And I am too. Everyone
there you
is.
go, negativity again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's
true.
It's the main villain.
At least for me, it definitely is because that's what leads to people becoming like wearing false faces and becoming people that like aren't like robots or whatever. You know, like they're just like going through life, going through the motions. But yeah, like I feel like I'm very hard on myself about a lot of I'm very clumsy, and Mom always gets upset with me because every time I do something that's clumsy, I get really upset. Sometimes I'll yell or I get really mad.
Right.
And that's so weird and petty. I don't understand. That's one thing I don't understand about myself. I don't know why that matters to me so much.
Right.
Because I feel like I have this air. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But improving upon yourself is hard to do, and I think that learning how to do it yourself is very fulfilling, but it's also not for everybody. Some people might need therapy,
right.
or stuff I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that kind of stuff. I think that works for different people. It depends on how you learn.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Everyone, buy My Thoughts on the Matter. That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
Buy it when it comes out.
When it comes out, yeah. I'm working very hard on it.
I've actually thought of doing something similar where I have a episode kind of dedicated to promoting my book because I'm on the last chapter.
I don't know anything about it. I want to know about it.
Yeah. I kind of have, and I've had an idea for the episode kind of swirling around. I just need to kind of build upon it a little more. But.
And obviously, this isn't just about the book. This is about me in general.
Right.
It was a lot shorter than our last episode about Lukology, which is kind of a shame, but that's okay.
No, that's good. I think we definitely dived into the parts that mattered, and I think we expanded upon some of the areas we didn't really touch in.
I agree. And the book is just everything you could ever. If you like these episodes, it's the most everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very. And my goal isn't to. I don't want to be a guru, a self-help guy. That is absolutely not what I want to be a
guru.
Because people people don't like those kinds of people. I hope I don't sound pretentious or very self-entitled.
You're just someone that's sharing your view on things.
Yes, I just wrote that paragraph because I realized I was writing it. And I was I realized that I'm kind of coming off as this pretentious guy who's trying to tell people how they should be. So I rewrote a whole bunch of my book the other day, which is kind of why I haven't gotten as far as I would have liked. But that's okay. Hopefully by the end of my senior year, it's out. I want to really grind out a big chunk of it during Christmas break. But it's very it's hard to write because it always depends on my mood. Because if I'm not in a thoughtful mood, because the book is specific around thoughtfulness, and if I'm very distracted by surface level stuff like planning the next hangout or something, I can't really write it very effectively.
See, the problem with me is for some reason, not all the time, sometimes it's not like this, but most of the time I need a kickstart to my creative juices, which basically means I need to watch something either about writing or watch an episode of TV or experience a story or something like that in order to kind of get myself going to be able to
and to
write.
Remind yourself that you're passionate about it.
Yeah. So it's just kind of getting past that writer's block. But
yeah, writing is I really enjoyed it. And it's different because my goal isn't to write a good book. My goal is to get my thoughts out there. So it's kind of a good starting place if I ever actually do want to write an actual book because I have a very bare bones idea of it. You know, it's very conversational. The book is.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. I appreciate you all listening to this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I kind of do want to call it Lukology again. I don't want to call it Lukology 2 because we always do 2.
Yeah.
Luke 2ology.
Oh, I'm gonna burp so bad, guys.
Don't do it.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Come on, right at the end.
I suppressed it my emotions. I'm kidding. All right.
That would have been a good send out.
Do it at the beat drop when we peace out media.
And then you have vocode into the ending theme.
Yeah.
Classic. All right. I don't know. I'm fiddling with everything right now. I'm very they couldn't see that, but I did something very weird.
What he did was he went with his fingers. He went.
That's the audio version of what he did.
It kind of is actually. All right, well, I'll count us down here because they've been listening to the outro music for long enough, and it's about to get to the climax of the song. So, 3, 2, 1.
Peace out, media junkies.